Howdy everybody, it's Amy here from Amy's Sparkly Diamond Painting. How are you doing? We are doing well over here. I know I disappeared there for about 4 days, I guess. We went to Dallas-Fort Worth area on Friday to move Jim's sister and family from one house to another. In the previous house they had been in for over 8 years. So it was a lot of stuff, took a lot of work and a long weekend through Memorial Day weekend, but we are back and I'm ready to show you some goodies. So what have we got for you today? This is going to be kind of a casual mishmash video. I'm going to do the second half, actually second 2/3 I think, of my Temu haul. I'm going to show you a little bit of progress that I've made on just a few projects. And I'm also going to start the video though with some friend mail, often called random acts of kindness, or in the cross stitch world it's stitchy kindness, but I'm not sure if we really have an equivalent other than friend mail in the diamond painting world. If there is another name for it, please let me know in the comments. But I had a wonderful friend send me all sorts of goodies based on watching my videos for the last year or so and wanting to help me out in some areas based on things I've mentioned in the video. And it was just a really fun surprise, really cool to get all these goodies. So since they came from Temu, I thought it would be cool to throw in a bit of a Temu haul in with these. So thank you, Carolyn, and I do need to go ahead and get this video out and show you these things so that I can actually use them in another video over on my Patreon site. So it'll make sense here in a minute. So I just wanted to put something in front of the camera here, but we're going to save this for a little bit later because this is diamond painting goodness from Carolyn. But we want to start with some other goodies that we got here. And I will start with these because this is how it first came. So I was a bit confused when I first got the mail, but then she emailed me and let me know what was going on. So I got this card here, and here, you're totally awesome. Tiny Turtle is always here whenever you need a little cheer. And in that package were actually these really pretty little butterflies. Aren't they cool? Let's take a look here because I haven't actually opened these, but I have an idea for these, and it was based on some of the other stuff that came in. So we have all these little colorful butterflies here. All different colors here. There's some greens, blues, purples. Really cool butterflies. So what do you do with these? Well, you put them in resin, which leads to the next step here. And that is these 2 tray molds for resin art. So we have the smaller tray. You've probably seen these trays showing up on different diamond painting creators channels as a way to hold your pen and several goodies while you're diamond painting so you don't lose them. So they look a little odd when they're in mold form, but this crosshairs here in the circle are the support. So it goes this way when you pour the resin in. So you'll have the ledge of the tray and then the flat part of the tray. So we got that. And then we have a larger round one here. And it's the same deal where you fill in the sides and then pour over the top to make a nice large round tray with a hole in the middle, which you could use to put a candle in there is what I'm thinking I would do with it, or all sorts of different things. You could put a cup in there to hold like pens and stuff. Really, really useful trays here. So that's the reason I needed to show you guys these goodies right away, because this is what I'm going to be using here on a video on my Patreon, because I'm going to make a couple of trays as part of my event for June. And I've got some butterflies to put in there. I've also got some dried flowers to stick in and other little goodies to make some diamond painting trays. So thank you, Carolyn. Really, really thoughtful gift and very useful for right now. So those are the resin parts. I also got these, and I've never bought these before, so this was really nice. These are, they're kind of sticky. These are sticky mats. You often see this kind of material used to make little mats to hold your cell phone on your dash, but they're also really, really good for holding beads when you're doing beadwork, because the beads don't roll away. They actually stick to these, so you can put your little piles of different colors of beads on these and hold them, and they can also stick to whatever you're working on, say a canvas or a piece of fabric for cross stitch. I've looked at them, but I haven't actually tried purchasing them online. I saw the prices at our local craft store and I thought, ooh, I know they're cheaper out there on Amazon and other stuff, but I never got around to buying any. So thank you, Carolyn. We will put these to use. There were 6 in this package. I'm trying to get this one to lay flat, if you're wondering why I keep opening and closing it there. There we go. But I believe you can wash these when they lose their stick and reuse them after you wash them. So there are 6 different colors in there. So these will be really helpful for some of my beadwork cross stitch that I've been working on. So those will be very useful. Then, oops, oh, I'm trying to drop one of the goodies there. A washi tape dispenser. So she saw me struggling on some of my craft projects. We're trying to keep my washi tape straight, so this will hold several rolls of washi tape and snap it closed with the front end of the tape there, and you can tear and keep your washi tape in order while you're using it. So that's really cool. I didn't even know these existed. So washi tape dispenser. And then she mentioned there would be something that I lose. And then this showed up and I knew exactly what she was talking about here. How many times have I not been able to find my tape measure? And my kiddo walked off with it, and then my dog tried to eat it. So, I didn't even notice. This came in just yesterday. Look at that. It is a cactus. Isn't that cool? So I will be able to measure canvases again for y'all. Thanks to Carolyn for this awesome tape measure. That's really, really cool. So I'm going to put this in a safe place, which leads to this next thing, which is a bit too large to fit in the camera, and that is a storage area to store all my goodies so I don't lose them. Let me get the plastic away here. This also just arrived yesterday. Our mail is just a little bit slow here, but we have large drawers, 4 large drawers, and then I'm not sure you can see this. I'll do it at an angle here. Maybe I'll take a picture and insert it afterwards here, but at the top we've got areas to store various things so that we don't lose them. That's probably going to make you dizzy if I show it that way. So I can put my washi tape in here. I can keep my little tape measure. I'll put the bead sticky things in there, and all our goodies for diamond painting can go in there. And next, check this out. A replacement diamond painting pen, and this looks exactly like, or I think it's very close to the one I broke. I was trying to find the one that broke, but the back side where the multi-placer goes was broken on my pen. But I love the pens that have these little inclusions in them, and so this came from Temu again. So we have a brand new diamond painting pen that is not broken and will actually hold the multi-placer. So this one comes with some sort of website and instructions here. User manual for metal tips. Adult supervision required. Uh-oh, I better find an adult. Isn't that pretty though? Lots of glitter and flowers in there. Really, really pretty. Looking forward to using this. And it came with some plastic tips here, but it also came with metal tips. And these little dots right there, those are like little washers, rubber washers to help make sure they stay in. So what do we have here? We have a 10 placer there, and these are the thin metal. Really, really nice. And then, of course, a 7 placer there. So if they don't stay in right away, you can, although that's very good. That's a nice sturdy. hold there. That's nice. And then we have the single placers here, the curved as well as a straight. And that can go in the other end here. And then we have the little washers if we need them to make them hold. And then this is a 4-placer. So I'm going to push that in a little bit more later. I may actually use the plastic one here that came with it for the single placer. We'll play around with it. And then a big pad of blue wax. So really, really nice pen. And that's not going anywhere. So that should hold up much better than what I've been using. And now I have a place to store it so I don't lose it. So those are going right in the top drawer. All right, and then finally, we got a couple diamond paintings. So I'll start with this first one here. This one came in with a basic toolkit here, but isn't she beautiful? Rainbow Angel. Look at that. And this one won't take too long. I'm thinking this would be a good time-lapse project because I like doing time lapses, but they do take a little while, a little bit of editing. I could maybe do a little short story or something in the background, but time lapses do take a little time to create, but something smaller like this would work out really well for a time lapse. So there's the thumbnail. We have 19 different rainbow colors here, lots and lots of pink and purple in this one. Stick looks good already. Yes, definitely very sticky. Let me push this down a little bit better to get rid of that fold so it lays flat. Beautiful. And of course our train of drills here, which were held together with a rubber band. We have little bits of yellow, not a whole lot. This is a round. Some pink, dark pink, brown, really light pink, lots and lots of different shades of pinks here. Off-white, blue, really, really pale pink. And then there's probably the background, or a majority of the background there in that dark blue. And purple, lots and lots of dark purple there. Lots of pretty purple colors. Look at those. So beautiful little angel. And finally, one last goodie. This was, like I said, a whole lot of fun. I really appreciate the kindness and the thought that went into these gifts. And it's been a blast having them arrive, because this is the new, or the current version of Temu, where instead of packaging everything up together and shipping it over, it comes in bits and pieces as it shows up at various warehouses. So I was getting friend mail throughout the week last week, and then had some more after we came back from our trip. So here is our final diamond painting. And I can already tell that I'm going to love this one, because this is a butterfly and jar and flowers. So we have standard toolkit here. We have a bunch of drills. Look at that. Is that me or what? Definitely a thoughtful gift here, and perfect for our plant and garden theme, actually. So this may be one of the small ones that I work on in between all the others. Beautiful butterfly in a jar. Look at all the flowers on there. There's the thumbnail. So this one, 20 colors, not too bad. And nice complicated background. So no really big areas of multi-placing, but there are little bits here and here. And I don't see any 310 black. I see what looks like, I'm trying to see 3768, looks pretty dark. Number 7, 939. So a very dark blue is the darkest color here in the background. The rest is kind of a blue-gray to tell the shading between the glass of the jar as well as the background. Makes me almost want to let that butterfly go, though. So when I was a little kid, my sisters used to make me cry because for some reason the song Butterflies Are Free to Fly from the Elton John song, Butterflies Are Free to Fly, was just a line of the song, but my sisters could say that to me when I was a little kid and I'd just start crying. But anyway, I'm much older now. I don't cry at the song. So we got lots of different colors here. We got some dusty rose and reds, lots of grays there for the jar. And there's our 939. So a pretty big bag of the dark blue. And all these bright colors that are going to go against that. There's another dark blue. Look at that really light blue there. Another gray. Some more dusty reddish colors. Really light peach here. And lots of white. And this might be fun to do as an AB replacement. So this is color 20 for the white flower here and the white butterfly. This other little flower. It might be fun to sprinkle some ABs in that I have left over from other projects. So really, really beautiful. This will be a lot of fun. I didn't even see this stuff on Temu, so this is really awesome. I was just so surprised. It's kind of strange because that's the first time I've ever gotten mail like that. And I thought, who is sending me these things? What's going on here? So really, really enjoyed it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm really going to have fun using all these goodies. Very, very thoughtful gift. And I do appreciate it. So first ones to be used though will probably be these in a video later today. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon, some videos are free, some do have the monthly cost. I did something this morning. I had done a whip and chat for my paying Patreon members last week, and I went ahead this morning and shared it to the free members. So I may be doing some of that where the Patreon people get to see things first, and then over time I'll switch it over and share it to the free members. But there is a whip and chat available there for my Patreons, as well as another video with the part 2 of the rainbow scarf. So let's talk about a little bit of update of what I've worked on lately. Can't remember if I showed this or not, but I do have a finish here. Well, almost finish. I have a finish of the cross stitch part of this one. This is a floral cactus design. It is a Joy Sunday, but I haven't done the back stitching yet. So I decided to go ahead and wash it before I did the back stitching. So it's going to become much more clear what the design is once I do the back stitching. So we got the big flowers here, as well as the cactus thorns and the pot still to do, but I did go ahead and get the ink off of it. As you can see, it washed off perfectly. But we're going to do the back stitching on that one of these days and have a finish there. So I started this one back in November when we were on the way to my son-in-law's wedding over in Ohio. So lots of car time, and we finally got a finish on that one. So I've also been showing my needlepoint. This was from a trip that we made to the Crawl Fest not too long ago, and this was a counted needlepoint pattern that I bought that was supposed to look like a quilt. Well, still is, but I finished the first of the 9 quilt blocks. So this one is yellow, and then there are quilt blocks of other colors with some little designs that are supposed to look like fabrics there. So this is the first square done with all the little squares and rectangles in there, and this has been a lot of fun, which is why this first square is already done. Really, really enjoying it. I'm gonna have to get more of these once I get this one done, but these can be a little bit pricey because of the specialty thread. So this was kind of my retirement gift to me. And so got fuzzy threads, gold threads, variegated threads that change color throughout. I think my favorite is this little piece right here. So it's coming out really pretty and really fun to work on. But you can see I did do a tutorial or a video about needlepoint, and you can see a little bit of warp here. I'm stitching this in hand, but just the fact of pulling those thick threads in and out, it's going to warp them. But you have to block needlepoint when you're done, and it will block out straight again once I finish this. But that is one of the differences, is it's more whole rather than fabric, and these are starched. You don't want to get this wet till you're done. But once you get it wet, the starch goes away and you can kind of form it and let it dry to the shape that you like. So there is our needlepoint I've been working on. And then finally the last little project I had, well, little is probably not quite correct. It's getting quite large. This is my magic ball blanket that I've been crocheting with the magic balls that I created with a bunch of scrap yarn. So it's coming out pretty large, really, really thick. It's been fun to work on. These hanging threads are supposed to be that way. That's kind of the style, is I'm just letting the threads hang. It's kind of a shabby chic, I guess, as you would say. But I have the videos over on Patreon on the free part. Basically, I bought a couple of mix and match mystery bags of yarn where I didn't know what I was getting, and that's what I used to make this. I have had to add a little bit from my stash off and on. As I run out of various skeins, I'll just grab another one and start including that. So there are some adjustments to the yarn types as I go along, but I've tried, especially like with this pink one, I tried to really be careful and spread that throughout, so I didn't like have half the blanket with that pink and the other half not. So I do try to keep at least some of the colors throughout, so there is white throughout, even though they are different skeins, but it does have mostly a blue tint to it. But this is pretty big. I used, I believe, 175 stitches across. I would probably recommend something like 120, maybe at most 150. This really is a bit too long, so I'm working it kind of sideways now, or lengthwise I should say, and I'm probably about halfway through. So maybe I'll take a picture if I can and stick it in there of it spread out so you can see it. But this has been a really fun couch project where I just pull off various lengths of each skein and tie the thread into overhand knots and just start crocheting with those balls. So check that out. It's free over on the Patreon if you want to see how to make one yourself. If you have a bunch of leftover skeins and pieces of yarn. So here's one of the magic balls that I still have not used yet for the project. So that's how that's going. So are you ready for some Temu haul? So I made this order a while back, and it took a little while for everything to come in, and some of it I haven't opened. I just recognized it because I get the delivery notice, so I knew that's what it was. So these I haven't opened. So we'll start with this one, because this is diamond painting. Got a couple cross stitches, couple diamond paintings in here. So let's see what this says. It says diamond picture, it looks like. Because these were all sealed, I don't remember what is what. So let's see here. This is the little bit thicker, scratchy canvas, so it is going to be tough to unroll, but interesting. This looks fun. So I don't think I can unroll it quite fully on camera, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. It could go either way. I guess it goes this way because it's called Diamond Picture. But not a whole lot of colors here. This is a very simple one here. We only have 11 colors, but it's kind of the stained glass or coloring book style where you have the black outlines and then fill in. So that's why there's only 11 colors. It's a really simple design here. It says 32 by 42 centimeters, but let's see here. Okay. That's 32. So that is the actual size of the design there, 32 by 42 centimeters, and only 11 colors. So I'm curious because it looks like the spacing, this is something a little bit different for the canvas type than I've seen. There are no grid lines, well, very, very faint grid lines, but definitely not showing up in the black. But you do have the round circles for the diamonds. I'm kind of curious about how the spacing is going to come out on this one. And maybe if the diamonds are a little bit bigger. Nope, they look like standard sized diamonds. But I guess the good news is they are kitted up. There is, of course, going to be a lot of black because of the outlining on this one, but probably no need to open this. The bags are numbered based on the order of the drills here. I don't see DMC numbers written on there, but they are written on here. So just a few colors here and basic toolkit there with a thin pink wax. So that's kind of cool because it's a very simple project. So this would be a good one if you don't want to deal with a lot of colors, or if you want somebody to help you that's new to diamond painting. That might be kind of fun. So that one looks pretty good. We'll know when we do it, but it looks very, very easy to read, very simple to do. So let's see what this is. Oh, I think I know what this is. This is something that I've had in my cart in various companies for a while, but the first time I saw them on Temu when they were a little cheaper. So we're gonna open this and see how it looks. So this is a 3-dimensional diamond painting. This is one of those Perpetual calendars here. And I thought they were really cool, but they were a little bit over the price for product review packages for the budget that we get. So I had it in my cart at a couple places, but didn't actually buy it. So when I saw them on Temu, I decided, well, that means maybe it didn't work out so well, but we'll give it a try. So here's what we got. It actually looks pretty nice here. We got basic toolkit, but with some baggies. And we have a wooden base here. Maybe these were the ones that didn't quite make quality control, but the wood base looks just fine here. And then this is how it sits in the wood base. I'm not going to push it down though, because we do have the plastic cover here for the diamond painting. But you can put the actual date information, what day of the week, what month, and what actual day. So this is, let's try this, Wednesday, May 28th, I believe. There we go. And then each day you can move the rings and know what day it is, which for those of us that are retired and don't keep track of days very well, that'll be really helpful. But beautiful flower there, and it is rhinestones. The wood actually looks really nice, so I'm kind of surprised that this showed up. They have several designs, but I'm surprised this showed up on Temu. So let's see what we got here. I do see some special diamonds in this. So we do have some very, very pale, almost a peach color there of some teardrops, some large blue ones. Maybe it'll help if I turn it this way. Some gold circles, some pinkish marquise, and then the rhinestones, which are going to be the rainbow colors there of the flower. So it looks good. I don't see any scratched up wood or anything like that. So I believe that should slide in there. Of course, if it doesn't, if that's where the trouble is trying to get it fit in there, my hubby's really good at using Dremel tools and stuff like that, so he'll help me out if there's a problem there. So far so good. I like that one. Let's see what's next here. That's a cross stitch. I believe this is, well, let's see what this is. I think it's a diamond painting, but it feels very squishy. But I think it's because it's in this kind of packaging. So I bought a set of small plants of diamond paintings, and I think that's what this one is. Yes, okay. So these were a kit of smalls, but they were a little bit bigger than the tiny ones. And since I had the plant and garden theme coming up, I thought this would be appropriate. So we're going to take a quick peek here. Ooh, they're soft canvas. So we have what looks like a little bit better toolkit here. We have our color card, lots of colors there. 11, 22, 31 colors there is quick count. And then we have, let's take a look at this toolkit. It's a nice soft bag here. And we've got a squishy, a heart wax, some plastic tweezers, and basic pen. So everything you need for diamond painting. So it's almost like the other minis out there. And then we have all the diamonds, and of course it seems like the minis are made of squares for the most part. Make Market from Michaels has some round ones, but these are indeed squares. So we've got all the drills there that have the DMC codes on them. But this is what we really want to see. How are the canvases? So they look for the most part like they're cut straight. Sometimes you get some that are cut crooked. They do have a border on there that's not quite an inch, but it's at least 1.5 centimeters or so. It's a little tight on this side compared to that side. So you could maybe trim off this side just a little bit to match up with that side. But we have a hanging plant here, and I've already gotten some yarn fuzz on it here on the back, but this is a really soft velvety canvas here. We've got, this looks almost like some of the Make Market designs there. I'm seeing, oh, look at that. That one's pretty. Little canvas, little cactus here. Looks like a Southwest style thing. Maybe they're slightly different than the other ones I've seen. So there's the cactus, and here's some sort of plant there with a really big pot. So those are the 4 designs, a little bit bigger. They could probably frame in a 5x7, but it's a nice little kit. So I don't think I paid much at all. I think this was part of their lightning deals, but looks really nice just without like a box or some sort of packaging. But I have an idea for that. I think I'm going to make a project bag, because I need to get my sewing machine out to make a few others. And I may make one for this and use it maybe as part of the giveaway for the Planted Garden event for June. So I think that's how I'm going to use that. So I want to keep that one together and nice so I can do that. Let's move that off to the side. Okay, this is another diamond painting here. It says Temu on it. And I think this is the last diamond painting, and then I have a couple cross stitches here. So let's see. That's a big one. Probably should have grabbed my scissors, but my scissors have been traveling everywhere with me, including on my trip. So okay. So let's see what we got here. We got the thin packaging, but it looks like even though it's a large diamond painting, it wasn't bent, which is always good. All right. Whew. Let's see what this one is. This is a little bit bigger one. Ah, yes. This is the first time I ordered one of these. I've seen a couple other content creators show these, and I was curious about the ones that are kind of single tone of colors. So I got one of the Geisha girls, and this one is one with blue tones in it. Let me unroll it here. So you see a lot of the gray tones are black and whites, but this one is a blue toned one. Here is the thumbnail. Beautiful, beautiful. And this one has 40 different colors here. You can hopefully see the close up there. A lot of capital letters, some numbers. They're all kind of random on there. We do have a fair amount it's actually printed sideways, so the symbols are upright when you turn it sideways. But for me, that doesn't matter because it's an easier way to work because it fits on my table a little bit better like that. But I do see lots of color E, which I'm guessing might be 310. Let's see. Nope, it is not. It is 939. So there is some 310 that is color B, as I expected there would be. So probably in her hair there, but we'll turn her right side up so we can look. So here's the rendering of her face and her eyes. The eyes look big enough there that I can see the white, I can see the blue, kind of the black shadows and the eyebrows there. I can see her nose and mouth, so it looks like the face is going to come out pretty good. There's a few different colors of shading through here, and then the shadows down here. Really, really beautiful kimono here. So yeah, looks pretty good. Now the one thing we'll have to be careful of that I see is that there are guide circles here for the white background. So you want to make sure that you place really well to cover up all those guide circles. Otherwise those parts of those black circles, the lines on them, will show up around your diamonds in the white area and make it a little bit easier to see those black outlines. So you want to cover up all those black outlines, which means probably single placing on this one. But we do have a very nice toolkit here that comes with the squishy already on the pen, so I don't have to fight with trying to put it on there, and a 3-placer or 4-placer, as well as a 10-placer, and some basic tweezers. So that is our toolkit. But what I see right off the bat that I guess I didn't realize is those are AB drills right there. It does, however, look like one of the bags has spilled, so I am seeing some AB drills scattered around here, so I probably won't open this right now. But I do see at least 3 ABs, and they are all in the blues there. There may be some others in there, but we've also got a large bag of black in there that I see, and a big bag of this background, which looks like a pale pink, as well as an off-white in there, and a little bit of very light gray in there as well for the skin. Probably there's another pale pink. So grays and blues and AB drills. So I will deal with the mess there at another time, so you guys don't have to sit through that. But very, very nice. So these are available on Temu. All right. Let me roll this up real quick so I don't make noise. So I unboxed in the first half of this video, I did unbag a Joy Sunday cross stitch, and I thought it looked really great. What's the catch? Because usually when you see Joy Sundays and other brand names, it's because something was slightly off, and that's why they're being discounted. You see that a lot on Temu, where you see several different stores selling the same cross stitch. Well, I found what the deal was because I started it this past weekend while we were driving, and it's a very, very minor deal, but there were 2 symbols that looked too similar. There was a purple dot and another dot that may be another color, but it looked like a purple dot. So I've been using the chart anywhere I see a purple dot to check which color, but it's not a large amount on that diamond painting on that cross stitch. So that may be the key. So I have another one here. This is the brand Rost, so I'm curious how this one's going to come out. So we're switching gears here to cross stitch, and I only have 2 from Temu, and then I've got another one from Paint Someway I'm going to throw in here. But this is older Joy Sunday, because even though it says Rost, that same packaging is really the Needle Kung Fu brand, which is equivalent. I mean, they're the parent company of Joy Sunday, so they make all of these. So pretty colors there. But the first thing I noticed off the bat was all the dark colors here, which tells me this is an older print. They have since lightened up their printing and made it a little bit more clear, a little bit better printing on them. So that may be the catch on this one, which is no big deal. I've done several older Joy Sunday kits, but we've got, take a closer look at the picture here now that it's out of the bag. Beautiful, it says pin cushion 7. Not sure about the name there. Definitely not a pin cushion. It looks like a canister with various flowers in there. So we've got some blue roses, some hydrangeas, and maybe some violets here. Not sure exactly what the different types of flowers are, but really, really pretty. So this is a 14 count, which means 2 strands. Size is 32 by 38. So let's see. We kind of got a feel for how many colors here. I don't see a key anywhere else except the bottom. So yes, this is definitely a little bit older kit here. So we have 24 colors on this one and 3 colors of backstitch. So I'll show a little bit of the chart there. The backstitch will be around the various flowers. So as typical, Joy Sunday comes with a baggie with their 2 needles. And then this is one of the floss cards that I'm not a big fan of because they tear so easily. It's not quite really thin cardboard, a little bit better cardboard, but these do tear. So I will transfer these over to maybe some sort of floss drop, or I may just wind them because there's not very many of any color. I can wind them around bobbins. So the main colors here that we have are this white, which is going to be in the canister, and then this dark blue. There's a lot of that for the background of the flowers, but the colors look really nice. Really, really pretty combo with that blue and yellow and green, bright greens on this one. So very, very spring-like. And I can also tell this is an older one because you have the back stitching printed on there, which you cover up typically by your stitching, although some of the outlines here may show after I'm done with the stitching, but you need to use a chart anyway to do the back stitching. So sometimes that can hide what the symbol is behind it, but in this case we're not looking at too many symbols. It's actually more solid colors here. So half of the symbols down here are filled in squares of various colors. And that's why it looks so bright, but it does make it pretty easy to see. It's just very saturated, so hopefully the ink comes off. Sometimes with the ones from Temu, I will do a little test and put a little water in one of the edges and make sure the ink's gonna come off before I do them. Because there was a time when there was a problem with ink not washing off some of them. So I will double check that that's not the case with that one. I'll put that in the bag later. Okay, then I got another one here. I opened it because I wasn't sure what it was, and indeed it was a Temu, but this has a Y on it. This is a Geisha brand, and it was a large one with a couple sea turtles on it under the water. So very, very Amy-like. Lots and lots of thread. Pull it out here so we don't make a lot of bag noise. But we have the basic toolkit, although this one isn't too old because it has the little case that holds the needles there. I do like those. Needle threader, and I need to find a use for these gold rings. So we got our instructions printed on the chart. Here's a close-up of the picture. And this is the non-tearable, I mean, you can tear it if you try, but the shiny backed paper, but it's not waterproof, so you don't want to get this wet. But we can get a feel for how the canvas is going to look based on how this looks. So there's a lot of details in the turtles, a lot of confetti there, and then the background looks pretty straightforward until we get down into some of the coral here. So this one has 40 colors. Stitch count looks like 303, and then 215 going this way. Symbols look okay on there, which is good because they are the same symbols that we'll see printed on the fabric. So I believe this is, yes, this is an 11 count, which it does say that also at the top here. let's see what we got and try to guess why this one showed up on Temu. So Y for Yishu, 11 count, and then the number for the pattern here. And putting my cheaters on here. The first thing I do with these is I check to make sure it's aligned all the way across, and it is. The symbols look like they're all printed right in the center of all the squares, so I don't see any alignment issues. It may just be that it's a little bit older with only 40 colors, but even with 40 colors, I think this one's going to turn out quite well. It's pretty big here. I didn't see the size. I'm sure it was printed somewhere on there. Maybe you guys saw it when I had the pattern sitting out there. 303 stitches by 217, 75 by 56 centimeters. So it is diamond painting size. Almost the standard 60 by 80 size. So lots of areas up here where you have just basic stitching where you can sit and mindlessly stitch. And then one confetti red dot there. I'll probably ignore that. But it is computer generated, so that's why you see all the confetti on here. But sometimes that gives a little bit more detail to the turtle, but sometimes it's unnecessary to get the shadows around the edges and stuff like that. So you can ignore it a little bit, like that color right there. I'll probably just ignore that and do the same colors what's around it. So you can adjust a little bit where needed, but definitely large 11 count. But the printing here, I've been kind of showing it in different areas, but it looks very clear. I don't see any trouble with symbols, but you don't really know till you do it, sort of like the koi fish one that I started over the weekend, where I found out that there were two symbols that were very close. So for example, this one here, color 22, looks like a dark purple. That's kind of a dark brown, but they are very similar. So you have to use the hints from the colors to determine what's what, and also some help with the chart. And just as a tip, I found if I have trouble with my eyes being able to tell the difference between two similar colors, especially on say the Fairy brand or KS brand, I take a photo of it with my phone, and for some reason the contrast shows up better on my phone screen. So there have been times where I couldn't tell if the color was light blue or light green because they were very similar. But once I took a picture with my phone and looked at it through my phone screen, it was much more clear. So that's a trick you can try. So should we take a look here at our floss? Take a look and see what kind of colors we have for our turtle. We got lots of blues and purples in this, lots and lots of dark colors here because of the water. I'm not going to undo the whole thing, but as far as turtle colors go, I see some light browns, darker browns, some greens. There is a fair amount of white in this one. I wonder where that's going to come out, because there's a lot of that white color. Let's see, I could probably look at the picture again to tell. That's probably the background, the lightest background, where the sunlight is reflecting up through here. So that'll help the face and head of this turtle stand out though if it's up against the white. But you can maybe do the background in half cross stitch if you wanted this to go faster. Some of the water here could be done in half cross stitch, and then save the cross stitch for the stuff in the foreground, the reef, the fish, the turtles. But the turtles aren't that green. There's a little bit of green showing up underneath, but it's mostly brown and very light tan colors. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think it'll be a good couch sitting project. And for a Temu project, looks good so far. I don't see any issues, but there could be something hidden in there. It's just not showing up at this point. And then finally I have a straggler from a past order that I've shown in a couple pieces, and that was from Paint Someway. This one got caught up, I guess, in the tariff situation. So once the tariffs were lessened, suddenly I got a shipping notice for one more item from Paint Someway that I hadn't noticed was missing. I didn't check the order. But I had one last thing that they were printing, and now I have it. And that is this beautiful floral cross stitch. So I did mark it here, Paint Someway, once it came in. But I love the colors, and that's why I jumped on this one right when I saw it. So we got lots and lots of pastel floss there. We got the typical toolkit. And the Paint Someway stuff, they actually print them. They have their own, and that's why the code on here is 14 count ABB, a little bit different. I've done a few now, or I've started working on a few of the different Paint Someway cross stitches that I bought, and I actually like them so far. So I had a lady with a hat on with an abstract background, so I did her face. I showed all that on a video in the past. And then there was one with an earth on it, kind of a space picture, and I worked on part of the earth. And then there were a couple I wasn't sure about. The Hobbit house or the Hobbit hole, I haven't started that one yet because it was large areas of just one color. So I wanted to do that in variegated floss to get the colors of the flowers to show up, which weren't really in there. But this looked not really abstract, but I don't think it would suffer from not having a ton of detail or a lot of colors, which is typical for these particular ones. But Paint Someway has some artwork and images that I haven't seen elsewhere, so that's why I wanted to go ahead and continue to order a couple more of their charts, even though a couple of them are their kits. Even though a couple of them haven't been the best for the most part, they're working out okay. So let's take a look here. It is that same shiny paper. This is a 40 by 80. Says so right up there. And this one actually has 50 colors in it, so that's pretty good. And I can see that there's a lot of detail in it. I don't see like large areas of just one color. So a lot of detail all through this where you can make out each individual flower, even with these areas that look a little bit more like they're faded into the background there. So there's again the image for down here, but I can actually pick out all the different flowers in there. So 50 colors. Looks nice. The stitch count on it, it looks like 185 to 405. So definitely a little bit bigger, but this one is 14 count, so it's not too huge for the canvas size here. So let's take a look. It's a little bit stiff, but their printing process seems to work pretty well. Now they don't have a whole lot of edging on them. It's maybe a little over an inch on this side, which would be about 2.5 centimeters, maybe 2 centimeters over on this side. You can see where the edge was cut here, and it is serged, even though that's probably hard for you to see. But it is serged all the way around, so it doesn't matter that it's cut somewhat close, but there's not a large border on these, but it does cover the whole key. You can see it there. Let's take a look at some of the printing on this. Lots of red, which I'm not the biggest fan of the red symbols, and we have the fun here. It looks like giant triangles there because we have triangles going 2 different directions here. Gonna need my brain working on this one. So we have triangles pointed one way and the other way, and they meet up with each other there. So that is one thing I noticed that I gotta do a little bit thinking. And then over here we have the solid red, and then we have the red with the white dot in the middle. So I can tell the difference, but there's definitely a lot of red. But that's what happens when you have 50 colors on here. They don't have quite the same printing that, say, Fairy Brand and KS and some of the other more premium, more expensive ones that have all the letters that they're able to print on there. They're printing, their ink looks just a little bit thicker, so it's probably harder for them to use some of those symbols that we see with the light printing on the other more premium brands. But this still looks readable. You just have to be careful about the triangles. But sometimes the circles get a little blurry, but I can see those are all just blue circles there. So it looks pretty good, but I think the most amazing part of this one was the colors. So I'll figure out how to fold that later. So look at all those pastel colors. I don't think I need to open this. It does have the code there in case these ever get separated from the project, but they are in floss drops as expected with these budget-friendly kits. But lots and lots of colors here. Looks like the standard ecology cotton floss. So there are, I believe, 3 different types of cotton floss that come with these different kits. The cotton polyester, which is a lot of times these kits, the budget-friendly ones, it's a cotton polyester blend, and they do sometimes fray a little bit, but I think they're a little bit thicker and do a little bit better coverage. And then you have the regular cotton and then a premium Egyptian cotton. So there are a few different threads that you can get, but of course they don't label them. So you just kind of have to tell as you're working with them. You'll notice just slight differences in texture and shine with the different types of floss, but I do like this one. I think it'll be pretty, and I'm glad to see 50 colors on that one. So that's a positive there. So I think everything has been great. So we had this cross stitch, and then we had our big turtles here, which are all folded up here. There we go. I wanted to see one more time. So these, well, the flowers came from Paint Someway, but this one was a Temu, which was really nice. And then we had our little vase of flowers here. And then for diamond paintings, we had our beautiful blue Geisha girl. I won't undo her all the way with the AB drills. So that's a nice large one. And we have our little flower calendar here. These do feel just slightly wobbly, but I think they made them that way so that they can move easily. But once it's sitting upward, as long as you don't have an earthquake, they'll probably stay. And then we had this one, which a little bit different. I'm not sure what I think about this one, but it seems pretty good. It's really, really thick. It's going to be hard to flatten, so we'll have to test how well that one flattens out. So those are, and then our plants, which have moved off to the side because I want to maybe do something with those related to our event here, those right there. And then thank you, Carolyn, for these awesome goodies. And it was really fun having all these different packages show up and wondering what's in them. Rarely am I surprised, but this time I was. So I really, really do appreciate these. And I think I'll use this one maybe over the next month in our event. This one I plan on doing a time lapse with. Perfect size for that. And I am going to fill up my case here so that I can find everything and clear off some room on my table, which will be really, really nice. So thank you for the friend mail. Really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. And I will be back with some more goodies and more stuff to show you and more whippy and chatty stuff to talk about. But I think next I'm gonna do some stuff over on Patreon to get ready for our event, and stay tuned also for June 1st, which will be the kickoff video for the event. And that's plant and garden theme with Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0. And I will put the link again for the Facebook group, but you don't have to join the Facebook group. It's just a little extra fun, I think, where there's a little extra goodies and a way to share with the community out there. And I will also include my Patreon link if you want to go check it out. So thanks for watching. I'll get back to you next time.